Alright, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the video. Today is going to be something a little bit different. We're going to be starting a new series. Disclaimer, before we even get into this series, before we dive into this type of videos that I want to start, by no means am I a professional trader. By no means do I have this trading whole thing figured out. I, by all means, am still learning. I'm learning every day, learning new things every day. But I would like to show what I am learning to people. And if people think that there's a better way of doing things or learning things, feel free. Let me know how you do things. Me personally, background on myself before we do dive into these. I trade ICT. I trade ICT concepts. It's pretty much what was just shown to me by my buddies who kind of got me into trading. So it's what I follow. It's what I trade. It all builds into my model, which we'll get down later into this video that I do trade. But yeah, I kind of wanted to make this video specifically more for the Discord server and also for the people who I've been trying to help out to teach what I've learned so far, where I'm at, and people who I know and I'm friends with who maybe don't have any trading background, you know what I mean? And I can just give them these videos and it's me explaining to them as well. Put in just a little bit of extra effort for the people that I do care about and the people that I want to help out in this industry. But with that being said, the first thing we are going to be going over today, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a little bit of, well, let me change this over here. White. We're going to be going over market structure. So now with market structure, this is kind of just the baseline fundamentals of trading, right? Just basic things that we need to know as traders. All right. So first we're going to start with market structure and basically how the market actually moves. So the market is always just on a continuous uptrend, right? This is where market is always, for the most part, going up. If you look at higher time frames, you will always see that the market is pretty much always going up. You know, it goes down and it does go up. It's a repeated up and down process. But for the most part, the market's usually always trending diagonally, kind of like what this looks like. Obviously not as smooth. I wish it was. It'd make life a lot easier. But for the most part, this is kind of how it all really works. So let's get into it. So first thing we need to know is there is two types of market structure. We are either in a bullish market or we are in a bearish market. So if we are in a bullish market, that consists of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, right? This is bullish market structure. Again, bullish market structure just basically means that we are going up. Price is going up. And if you can mark that out, you can see right here we have a higher high. Right here we have a lower low. Okay. Right. Let's go right here. Higher high. Another higher high. Lower low. And oh, took my lower low away. Another lower low. So as we can see here, market creates, we have a higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Market is going up. Price is going up, right? Very obvious. Obviously, price, the market, we don't trade it in lines like this. So we do trade it in candlesticks, which we'll get to in a later video. But that's first form of market structure is going to be your bullish market structure. Let's go over bearish market structure. Bearish market structure. Bearish market structure, opposite of bullish market structure, right? We have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. All right, let's continue that arrow, bang, bang, like that. This is bearish market structure, all right? Oh shit, I just realized on these I wrote lower lows. Let me fix that for you guys. I hope you guys didn't write that in a notebook. That would be very unfortunate. I'm going to make you some white out if you used a pen. Beautiful. All right. So now we go into bearish market structure. We have lower lows, actually this time. Lower low, lower low. Beautiful. All right, fix that up. So here we go, market structure, beautiful. We have bearish market structure consisting of price starting here. We have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Beautiful. Say something that happens here, we get a reversal, respect to high time frame PD array, longer things that we'll learn down in the future. We now create bearish market structure where we see price starting to create lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower highs. And if we really want to chart this out, you can see really where we are talking about how we do have these lower lows, lower highs. Here's our high, right? Here's our next high. Here's our next high. You see how we are creating these staircases downward, right? We're going down the stairs. That is a bearish market structure. We are going up the stairs. This is going to be a bullish market structure. Very, very simple. Very easy to see for the most part. Sometimes it gets a little bit tricky, especially in the beginning. You'll be like, well, I don't understand. Is this higher high? Is this higher low? We'll get into all that. I'm going to show you some real-time I guess diagram models of it so you can actually see what it looks like on candlesticks, because obviously we're not trading lines. If you want to look at it at a line, you can more than do that and be able to see that. But let me give you some examples of what this looks like in the market. All right, let's get into bearish market structure. We have a beautiful example right here. So we'll mark it out for you. Obviously up here we have our high. We now have our lower low, our lower high, our lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and prices obviously going down, respecting very bearish. So we'll mark this out for you guys right here so you can see this. The high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Beautiful. We can even really get into it. Do it again. Lower high. So we can see where our market is creating these levels. These levels help us determine where price is going. Beautiful. Bearish market structure. High, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We are going obviously to the downside. We are going down, going bearish. All right, we want to sell, we want to get in whatever. We're looking for prices going that way. This is the 1 minute time frame, or actually this is the 5 minute time frame. I thought it was on the 1 minute chart. It's the 5 minute time frame. But yeah, this is what we're looking at. This is market structure for bearish market structure. Let's go back and let's find some bullish market structure. There's some right here for you, but I want it to be super picture perfect obvious like how this one is. So let me find a better example for you guys. All right, let's mark this out here. Right here we have our low. We have our low. Come up. We create our first set of highs. Higher high. Boom. We drop down. We create a lower low. Or higher low, sorry. But in the beginning, I would definitely recommend marking out, all this nonsense. Boom. Create higher highs. Higher low. Beautiful. And then price wants to jump up here. We are going to create another higher high. Bang. We're going up. Yeah. So a higher time frame. This is hourly. We were on a bullish trend, creating low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then we start to accumulate, do whatever, and then we start to shoot to the moon again. But beautiful. That is going to be our bullish example on the chart. What I would recommend doing is just going into your charts, man. Practice this. Practice marking out. Look at higher highs. Look at higher lows. Look at higher highs. Look at lower lows. Go back in the chart, mark them out, start to mark them out. Once you get really comfortable with marking them out, go to time, watch time update live on price, mark them out. I would do it, but we are very much consolidating. It's it's 12:11 in the morning through London, but mark them out, do them on your own. Try to find them, see where you can find them, and go from there. And just get your reps and get your practice in, whether you're trading on a paper account or however which way you are doing it right now. Just, again, repetitions. Get in the charts. Do what you can do with the knowledge that you do have. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is the basics fundamentals. This is something that you need to know, need to understand, is market structure. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Again, if we're bullish, we are going up. If we are bearish, we are going down. All we are doing in the market throughout price is fighting each other. The bears and the bulls, they're fighting. They're going back and forth. We want price to go up. We want price to go down. One of them's going to win. One of them's going to have more buy power, more sell power, and that determines our price. That's what pushes price up and down. That's what creates this level, this constant battle between buyers and sellers, the bears and the bulls. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, this is just a quick little video just on simple market structure, just on bullish and bearish markets. I feel like that's a good thing to understand initially. A lot of people, when they first open it, I remember when I first started looking at the charts, I was like, what am I looking at? This just looks like a bunch of random red and green candles, and I don't know what I'm seeing, right? But it all has a story, it all has a narrative, it all has a purpose. Another thing you could do on TradingView is if you are learning, you're having trouble seeing the higher highs, you can press this little button up here on the top and it'll make it into lines. This is what I used to do in the beginning when I first started trading to really understand kind of where price is going, because I used to be very confused a little bit, because it's like, well, we have a higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then, all of a sudden it's, wait a minute, now we have a lower high, higher high, but now this one's lower, and so it's like, it got me really confused a lot of the time. And then there was other times where we were just kind of chopping, right? For example, right here we have a lower low, higher low, and then we create a lower low off that higher low, right? So price is chopping. Sometimes price doesn't have a sense of direction. Again, this is why it's good to understand market structure. Because for me personally, I don't trade if price doesn't know where it wants to go, right? We have to have a sense of direction. We have to have a story. We have to have a narrative to the trade. If we don't have a story, we don't have a narrative, we are gambling. We are just going pure discretionary trading on just trading hopes and dreams, Like, we need a story, we need a narrative, we need as much of an understanding of who is winning the battle. Are we going up? Are we going down? What's the story? What's the manipulation? What are we trying to do, right? Which we will get into later down the line. But yes, that's going to be it for this video. Again, simple market structure video, something very simple but very important, very fundamental, something that everybody needs to understand once getting into trading. But that's going to be it. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the description, leave them in the comments, leave them in the comments. Link to the Discord is going to be in the description. Join up. It's free to join. We're just trying to help out as many people as we can. Again, just to preface, I am no professional trader. By any means do I claim to be a professional trader. All I am is a dude who does this. I trade, I get on the markets, I try my best. I'm learning just as much as you guys are learning every single day. Again, by no means am I a pro, but I do know a little bit, and the little bit of knowledge I do know is knowledge that I would like to pass down to others, because believe me, I understand how frustrating it is to want to get into this and get into trading, and it's just hard to find a source of information that is like easy to understand, kind of. It's just a lot. It comes off as a lot, especially when you're watching these professionals explain trading to you. It's harder for them to simplify trading in their own little words, because again, this is something that they have done for so long, years on years ends, to where they only understand, high vocabulary, high terminology, where it's hard for them to simplify it to the average Joe, the starter trader, the person who doesn't really have that understanding, that deep vocabulary, that deep knowledge. But yes, again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. That's going to be it for the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.